Tucked away in the scenic hills of Beattyville, Kentucky, Firefly Hills isn't just an RV park. It's a peaceful retreat where nature, community, and adventure come together. Let's take a closer look at this hidden gem. Welcome to this week's episode of Wandering Past Limits. Today I'm here with Tanja at Firefly Hills. She's going to tell us all about her really unique and inclusive campground and RV resort located in Beattyville, Kentucky. So Tanja, I'll let you go ahead and tell us all about your camp resort and everything that you have there.
Excellent. Thank you, Kayla. I appreciate you having me on today. So I always like to tell people about how we came to own an RV park. My husband and I have 5 children. We were living in the Midwest, raising them in a sticks and bricks house, the typical, American lifestyle that happens. And my husband travels for work. My older kids started leaving the nest, going off to college, living their best life. And the house just got bigger and emptier. And we were dabbling a little bit in world schooling. So we did a lot of world travel, international travel, educating our youngest son at home and through our travels. And I went to a world schooling conference and met some people who, when they're not world schooling and they're in the US, they're living full time in their RV. And so that sparked my interest in people doing this besides, when they retire. So we ended up launching in the fall of 2020. So we've been living full time in our RV for 4.5 years. And in the beginning, we traveled every 2 or 3 weeks, from location to location, getting to know and meet a lot of cool weekenders, but also full-time travelers, and started hearing stories of what people were really missing in their sticks and bricks and what they wish RV parks were like, because most RV parks cater to the weekenders, not to the full-time travelers. So out of that, we're lifelong learners, and we're like, hey, well, we could do this. We could build an RV park for our community, and taking all those things we learned from sitting around campfires all over the US. And so we did just that. My husband saw a thread in a common Facebook group about, hey, 10 of us should go in together, buy an old farmstead and create an RV park catered to full-time travelers. Somebody in that group said, hey, my parents are thinking about selling their small hobby farm in Eastern Kentucky. And the conversation came to a screeching halt, because once it got real, that's when the conversation stopped. And my husband reached out. We asked for some photos, some videos. We came and saw the property. It wasn't even for sale. It was just a thought that they had at the time. And we said, we think this would be perfect. And so we bought the farm. Here we are 3 years later. This is our second season of Firefly Hills. And I'd love to go through and tell you a little bit about how I think we're unique and different from other RV parks, if that's okay with you.
Yes, I am really excited to hear about because you said it's just for full-time RVers is like the main purpose. And like you said, there's not a lot of full-time inclusive parks out there. So I'm very intrigued to learn more.
Yeah. Yeah, so we started out right away renovating the property and dreaming about what we want this to look like. So although we cater to full-time RVers, weekenders are certainly welcome to stay with us as well and really benefit from the things that we have. So we have 3 main pillars that we kind of plan everything around. And the first and the most important one to us is that we are, as you mentioned, intentionally inclusive. Our family is very diverse and represents various marginalized groups. And so we wanted to make sure that everyone felt welcome here, because in our travels, not all of our family members have felt safe and welcome where we've been. in different places across the US or in other parts of the world. So we are an intentionally inclusive park. We offer a homesteading experience. That was one thing that full-time RVers said they really were missing is their gardens, teaching their kids where food comes from. So here on the property, we have an established orchard. I've got peaches, pears, apples, cherries, apricots, pawpaw, mulberry, hazelnut. There's more, but that gives you an idea of what I've got in the orchard area. And then, of course, we've got other things like raspberries and blueberries and things like that. We also have a vegetable garden. Some of them are in raised beds. So our guests can help themselves. Right now in season, we have lettuce, kale, mint, onions, green beans, and cucumbers that we're harvesting. And if you're not one to get your fingers in the dirt, that's okay because we also sell our produce in our little farm stand as well. In addition to that, we have whiskey barrels. We are in Kentucky after all. So we have whiskey barrels down in the park where we plant tomato, pepper plants with herbs. So, you know, our regular campers or anybody who stays with us can go down there, pick some herbs, add it to your scrambled eggs, you know, make a BLT, whatever, to enhance their meal as well. And then we also have chickens on site. So at 1:30 every afternoon, our guests can come and help with chicken chores and learn what it's like to have chickens, collect the eggs, feed the chickens, change out their waters, and learn what it is to have chickens on site. And then, of course, our guests can purchase those chicken eggs as well. And there's nothing like a farm fresh chicken egg. I don't know if you've compared a farm fresh chicken egg to a grocery store one, but hands down, the farm fresh ones are a lot tastier. And we do plan on adding more farm animals in the future to our space. So that's one thing that I like to tell our guests is, you know, come back, see what new things we have, because you never know what is new coming down the line. And then the last pillar that we have that's really important to us that, as you know, as a full-time RVer, is building community. So that's oftentimes very challenging to do on the road. And so we've done some things to make that very intentional. So we have community fire pits. If there's a fire there, everybody is welcome. We love hosting those. We are able to introduce people to people you probably wouldn't normally meet. Our picnic tables that we have at each site, they're not the long, skinny ones. They're more circular because that's more conducive for conversation, right? To sit directly across from everybody. And then, of course, we host different activities. Our next activity or hangout event that we have is our fall gathering. And it's a 2-week event. This is our 3rd year doing it. It's my favorite event of the year. It's our Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. And I happen to know that you've already signed up. So, Kayla, your family will be there. Join us. And that you can register on our website for that event. We have both full hookup options and dry camping options for our fall event. But we're going to be doing Halloween traditional things. We'll do a hay ride. We do trick-or-treating. We'll have a Halloween dance. And then we'll also do activities around Dia de los Muertos. So we had the opportunity to celebrate Dia de los Muertos in San Miguel, Mexico in 2018. And I love learning about other cultures. And that's why I want to share this with other people as well. So we'll be doing the traditional face painting, the ofrenda. We will have a little parade up to the altar where people can honor loved ones who've passed before us. And then there'll be other activities wrapped around that as well. In addition to that, we'll be taking advantage of the area, and I'll talk about some of the area things that there are to do, but we'll be sprinkling that in as well. So we do activities for kids, we do activities for families, and then we do activities for just adults. And my favorite activity for just the adults is our 1920s murder mystery game that we play. Last year, we had about 40 adults. We have appetizers. You have a character that you are. Many of us, I think almost all of us, dressed in 1920s attire. It was a lot of fun. So we'll be bringing that back again this year as well. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go to our website, fireflyhillskentucky.com, and register for that. We do pride ourselves on having some unique features here at the park because as full-time RVers, been and seen many beautiful places, national parks and unique things. So I wanted to compete on a more small scale and providing little opportunities of things that are unique and different. So I love to start with my kids' spaces because that's the number one reason why our guests extend their stay is because the kids request it. So what I did is I polled, I had 5 kids staying on property a couple years ago, and I asked them, I said, what do you want in your kids' space? And they gave me about 3 pages of ideas, and I'm slowly knocking them out and adding them as we're building out all of our amenities. So we have 2 kid spaces in the woods, and one of them is called the Whimsical Woods. And in that space, we have our mud kitchen. So there is a spring down there. So there's a constant flow of about, I would say, 2 to 3 inches of water, clean, fresh water, spring water flowing through that area. So the kids always have access to water to make mud to cook with. So I had a work camp family that made that mud kitchen. And especially the 10-year-old, when they were making it, the 10-year-old's like, I think this mud kitchen needs a brick fired oven. And so he worked with my husband and built, in addition to the kitchen, there's a brick fired oven down there so the kids can make pizzas. Um, so that was a fun project that work camp family worked on. In that same space down there, we have our fairy village. So I sometimes lead kids and adults through building fairy houses, but kids can do it at any time. My only rule is that all of the materials you use to build your fairy house has to be things found in nature. So using pine cones and rocks and moss and sticks and branches and grass and flowers and ferns and whatever as your building material. And then over time, nature takes that, and washes it away. And then we have the ability to build new ones. But we have an arbor down there. And I tell the kids when we walk through the arbor, we're walking into the land of imagination where gnomes, fairies, and unicorns live. And so the kids get to really use their imagination down there and build some cool things. And then we tell stories about it, who lives in your house or your fort or who runs your museum. So it is kind of cute to see how they're able to use their imagination down there. So that's the Whimsical Woods. The other space that we have for kids is called the Hidden Hangout. And in the Hidden Hangout, and again, the kids named these spaces too. They should have seen them brainstorming and coming to a consensus on what they wanted to name these spaces. But the best, most unique feature in that space is our web, made out of paracord in the trees. And the trees are part of the structure and it has sides to it. But imagine a very large trampoline, but not quite as bouncy as a trampoline. It still has some bounce to it, but not quite as springy as that. And it's great for the kids to jump on and lay on. I had guests that just left today, and this is a couple that's, probably close to my age, and they went down there in the evening and laid there and just nature bathed and as the fireflies were popping out at night.
Oh, I love
So
that. I'll probably be spending a lot of time.
yeah, the kids have talked about spending the night out there, but I don't think anybody has yet. But it would be a great place because it's also cool because you're up off the ground, so it'd be a lot of airflow, so that would be good in these summer days. So we've got the web down there. We have a little teepee a teepee structure the kids have been building down there. They wanted a campsite. They wanted like a tent camping site. So we've got a little makeshift fire ring down there with logs sitting around it so they can pretend they're tent camping. We've got the ninja course down there. I've got work campers that just built 2 cars out of logs with wheels and steering wheel. It's so cool. So
Oh,
that just got added about a week and a half ago. I've got 2 different swings down there. I've got a net swing, and then I also have a surf swing that you stand on. And again, I didn't even know these things existed. The kids were looking them up on the internet for me, and they're like, this is the one that we want down there. Another cool feature down in that area is the hammock circle. So I've got 6 hammocks in a circle, all using a center post that's the same. There's a lot of arguments if this is an adult napping space or if this is a space for kids. So it depends on, the day that you go down there. You might see a parent napping, or you might see some kids down there hanging out in the hammock circle. But we've got it right on the edge of the woods, so it's shaded most of the day. But at night, you can stargaze down there and lay in the hammocks and just enjoy the stars. So those are the two kids' spaces in the woods. And then in addition to that, we've got two fishing ponds that are stocked with fish. So you can catch and eat, or catch and release. I've got a goggle ball pit, pickleball, basketball, and then I've got hiking trails throughout the property as well. And then we have the thinking spot. The thinking spot is just tucked inside the trees. It is a single chair and table. It's meant for an individual to go there. They can journal, spend some time by themselves, but also we have families or couples that go there too. And I've got a mason jar, and if you open the mason jar, there are thinking prompts in there. So either you can journal about them, you can just think about them, or you can have a family discussion about them. And those thinking prompts all have to do with travel, inclusion, and nature.
I love that.
So
There's just so
yeah.
much stuff there. And I just love how much you cater to families, because that is, I've been traveling for 3 years, and that is hard to find. We've been to so many different campgrounds where there's not even a playground there, or the playground that they do have is completely run down and almost just too dangerous to even go on. So just having all of these activities and the catering for not only in the play and the imagination realm, but also the work realm of, going out and learning about your food and where it comes from and in
Yeah.
the garden. And that's just absolutely incredible. And I
Yeah, and for
was
those of
looking,
us who homeschool, it's a great opportunity to launch, some of these experiences with a homeschooling lesson.
yes, I'm so excited about it. And not just having all of this space for campers, but you also have space that people can stay in the farm as well. Or if they want, you have RVs that they can rent as well, correct?
Exactly. Yep. So our campground consists of 15 full RV hookup sites. They're at least 70 feet deep. Some of them are a little bit deeper than that. So these are meant for big rigs. But of course, our smaller travel trailers or lifers, they're welcome to stay too. I have two premium sites that each have a casita on it, and that's just a little bit extra living space. It's a finished on the inside and furnished. It has a kitchen table and chairs. It's got some couch and other chairs in there, some lamps, things like that. It's got air conditioning and heat. So if your family needs a little extra space, if you're getting on each other's nerves, or if the weather just isn't conducive to outdoor activities at that moment in time, you can spread out a little bit and have the space for working, or, have the kids, play their Legos or homeschool or whatever in there. It's not meant for cooking or sleeping. It's just meant for as a living space. And then, as you mentioned, I've got two RVs that I rent out on site. One is set up for two people and the other set up for five. So those, are available as well. And then we have our gorgeous 100-year-old farmhouse we have decorated it to honor the 1924 date of the house. But it is very, very nicely decorated, and we've got brand new beds, curtains, and rugs. And then I brought in a lot of antique pieces, dressers, and other furnishings to honor that 1924 date of the house as well. So if you are a full-time RVer, but your friends and family aren't, they can stay either in the house or in the RVs that we rent on site. And we're adding glamping as well. So we are going to be having two new glamping sites, hopefully available closer to fall this year. But we're working hard to get those done as well.
Oh, that's incredible. Just so many ways to stay. I love it. All these activities that you have there. There's also a ton of activities
In the
outside
area.
of there too that I've seen.
Yeah. So the Red River Gorge area, I like to compare it to the Grand Canyon in the aspect that people flock to this area for outdoor recreation. So the Red River Gorge area is made up of three different counties. It's a geological area. Um, and around it is the Danube National Forest and the Clifty Wilderness area. So this area is known for first rock climbing. We have over 100,000 people that come to this area to rock climb from all over the world. I've had guests in the house from Brazil, Switzerland, Germany to come here to rock climb. So if you want to try rock climbing, you can. There's 3 different rock climbing schools here, but if you're not into that and you just want to enjoy watching them, I like to hike to the other different areas, and respectfully, you have to be quiet because they're concentrating and need to, chat with the belayer, but watch them climb. And it's really, entertaining and something to watch. So we've got the rock climbing. We have lots of hiking in the area. This area is known for waterfalls and natural arches. And then we have a huge live music scene here. There's a lot of musicians that come from Eastern Kentucky. You can listen to live music for free on average during peak season 3 nights a week at various restaurants. And then we've got a couple venues in the area that you can pay to see a little bit bigger names in the area as well. The restaurants that we have, many of them are farm to table and they source locally from the local farmers, which I absolutely love. And we've got several of those in the area that we like to enjoy. We've got kayaking. There's lots of rivers in this area, so you can kayak the rivers, and you can kayak underground in a local mine, which is really fun. If you haven't done that before, it's really a neat experience to do the underground kayaking. We've got zip lining in the area, lots of off-roading trails. The Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway is an organization here that makes different routes, and you can upload their maps. And you can, if you've got a Jeep or a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you can do those. But if you don't have one, there's a place locally where you can rent side-by-sides and enjoy the off-road parks. There is an off-road park here, but also just the trails here as well. So that is some of the things that you can do in the area if you come to Firefly Hills. I'd love to talk about our work camping opportunities here because I feel like our work camping opportunities are unique. So we offer work camping here on site. It is a trade, so 24 hours per household in exchange for a full RV hookup, free Wi-Fi, laundry, all the produce that is in season, eggs, and then of course community. And we love having work camping families come, love giving the kids some tasks that are age appropriate but meaningful to them and that they can help build their skills. So if that's something that is of interest to any of the listeners here, reach out to us and let us know when, on the process to do that. We do have a spot on our website as well to learn more about work camping.
Tanja, thank you so much for coming on to Wandering Past Limits and letting us know about your RV park. It sounds absolutely amazing. And for just families, individuals, anybody who's coming out full-time RVers, or even just a weekend camper. There's just so many different activities and so many opportunities that you have at your park, and it just sounds amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I am very excited to come down there and visit, especially for Halloween. I cannot wait to see that event. That is going to be a blast. And for anybody who is wanting to check out Firefly Hills, check out their website. The links will be in the bio. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us before we go?
We're looking forward to having your family on site. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach out on social media or call the park as well. And usually I'm the one who answers.
Thank you so much. It was great to have you. And I'm looking forward to being out there.
Excellent. We're looking forward to having you.